All right, and welcome to a Psychology and Stuff short. I am Ryan Martin, and I'm here, as always, with...
Georjeanna Wilson-Denges.
How's it going, Georjeanna? Now everyone knows I still don't know how to pronounce your name, which is why
It's true. I'm grateful that you always toss it over to me to say my own name, because I just appreciate that.
Otherwise I'll be like, if Georjeanna Wilson-Doinges is...
Dangus! It is
Dangus.
True. So this week is one of your favorite weeks of the whole entire year. And
Indeed.
Some people might be thinking, oh, it's like the week of August 10th. And so it's like vacation week or like in the midst of summer. But no, this week is what?
Shark Week. So we are filming this in the middle of Shark Week. It's going to come out afterwards. But you know what's amazing is that it's not only Shark Week, it's my 20th anniversary tomorrow. So like these two wonderful things just fused together into one. So I don't know how we're going to add those together in the celebration, but we'll find a way. That got weird. Sorry.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome. And so for the listeners / watchers of this video podcast, sharks are Ryan's obsession. And earlier during the pandemic, when we were bored, Ryan and I both did a shark personality test from Nat Geo channel, and it just really spoke to our friendship and our personality. It was better than any astrologist could ever do. I turned out to be the lemon shark, which is like a totally outgoing and friendly shark. And Ryan, you turned out to be the hammerhead shark.
It was a hammerhead shark, which I was actually a little disappointed in, because I think I wanted to be a mako shark because they're really fast. But also it makes it sound like I'm kind of a dummy.
No, it makes you sound like stubborn.
Okay. I will take that.
The shark fits.
Okay. I will take that. I thought it was because I have just super wide set eyes and a huge but apparently not. No, that was really cool. And I would encourage people to take that probably accurate personality inventory.
Absolutely. From National Geographic. Check it out.
Yes. So we have another surprise guest who's just hovering below us right now on screen that we're super excited about. And Georjeanna, you've been singing this person's praises for quite some time. I'm going to let you do the introduction here as we kick things off.
So we have welcome the fabulous Cindy Kernahan, and I gave a huge shout out to her during our previous video podcast, because the psychology faculty at UWGB and many psychology, the nation wide, are reading Cindy's terrific book, Teaching About Race and Racism in the Classroom, Notes from a White Professor. And so welcome, Cindy. Hello.
Hi, thanks for having me. I hope people across the nation are reading it. That makes me happy to think about.
Absolutely. And so talk to us a little bit about what propelled you to write this book, and what really interests you about the topic that you're covering. So give us a little short snippet.
Yeah, well, the reason I wanted to write it, it's such a cliche to say, but it was totally true in my case, is that I wanted the book that I never had, because it was so difficult when I started teaching so long ago, 21 years ago. I started teaching about race and racism. I was so naive and I was so excited to teach about it. That's why I wanted the job that I took at UW River Falls, because they said I could teach a class on the psychology of racism, but it was so much harder than I anticipated, which sounds really dumb now. But at the time I was like, they don't believe racism is a thing. Like, what's wrong with them? And so it took me a while to sort of figure out how to teach in that way. And as I worked over the years, I realized other people had the same sorts of problems in teaching, and all those issues were there. And I could never find a place where they were all together talked about. And so that's why I wanted to write it. So
I'm curious, did you, when in the process did you come up with the title? Did you add the part, because I think which is the Notes from a White Professor is the part that I'm when did you add that to the title, or when did you know that you wanted to call it that?
Not until the very end. I mean, I knew in the intro that I needed to be really clear about who I am and what my race is and how I come to this, because I know just based on my own experience of talking to people and also the research that it's way easier for me to teach about this than it is for people of color. It's just a different experience, and I talk about that in the book. But I hadn't thought about adding it to the title until I was going through the peer review process with West Virginia University Press. Shout out to them. They have lots of great books on teaching that I'm lucky to be a part of. But as I was going through the peer review process, one of the really smart peer reviewers said, you know, it might be a good idea to be even more upfront about this and put it in the title. And I'm so grateful for that suggestion because I think it's really important.
I do too. That's why I was curious. And especially, it actually felt really especially relevant right now when we talk about allyship and what that means and a host of other things to acknowledge that and be as upfront about that. So interesting.
Yeah, for sure. And that's one of those things, like, you know, there's no way to do that perfectly. I feel like that's really important to say right now too. And so that's another reason why I like being upfront about it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So definitely check out Cindy's book, especially as you're planning your fall semester syllabi and as we travel through this next stretch of a school year, considering ways in which we can look and address these issues in our teaching is so important. So I appreciate you and I appreciate your work, and the book has just been inspirational to us this summer. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad.
And Cindy has agreed to be our timer for our rapid research review. She's got her phone like charged and ready to time us. If you remember last time when Ryan rolled the die, is it die or dice? Die.
It's a die.
Rolled the die. We are doing a rapid research review in each other's field of specialization. And so are you going first, Ryan?
I think I'm supposed to, because Regan went for me last time.
You are too.
So yep, it is me. All right. So
I'm excited.
Cindy, and I'm ready.
All right. Go.
All right, so I am talking about a 2014 article in experimental aging research called Not Just Scenery, Viewing Nature Pictures Improves Executive Attention in Older Adults. It's a study done by Gamble, Howard, and Howard. What they did is they took two groups of participants, 30 older adults in their mid-70s and older, and 26 university students. They completed the attention network test before and after 6 minutes of viewing nature or urban pictures with random assignment to picture type. The test asked participants basically to stare at this little dot that appears on the screen, and then above it, another arrow appears, and they have to look in the direction of that other arrow as soon as possible. And what they found is that both groups, viewing nature pictures, but not urban pictures, led to improved executive attention. Boom.
Woo! Woo! Look at that. 50 seconds. Nice job.
Nice.
That was.
I get to do my buzzer sound.
You can still do it. Do it.
This is how I got it done, is I had nature picture right next to me to look at.
Right.
There you go. Look at your executive functioning.
Right. It was outstanding.
Yeah.
I love it. I love that study. I love studies that compare like our typical like college age samples to a different sample and find that it is consistent. Those findings are consistent. That's cool. Love it.
That was good stuff. So.
All right. I'm ready when you are, Cindy. Give me the go.
All right. Ready, set, go.
All right. So I am doing something tangentially about anger. It's called The Psychological Impact of Quarantine and How to Reduce It, a rapid review of evidence. So that's what really got me hooked on here. It's by Brooks, Webster, Smith, Woodland, Wesley, Greenberg, and Rubin. That took a long time right there. They did a meta-analysis of 3,166 articles about quarantine and the psychological impact. And one of the psychological impacts that they found was that anger is a very common response to quarantine for many reasons. And so they talked about the hopeful ways in which we can reduce the anger response in quarantine. And so like giving people good information and oh no!
I didn't want to stop you though, that's really interesting.
Yep, I'm just gonna say like I'm gonna go over time and just say that like good communication that people can trust helps them feel less angry, as well as having what they feel that they need, whether it's psychological support or like physical things like toilet paper, help people feel less angry, which is what I wanted to say, but I ran out of time. So,
and those are, I mean, that's a super, super fascinating. Did that just come out? First of all, I can't believe there's 3,000 articles about quarantine.
I can't either. Wow.
I know, but it's like from medical workers sometimes, and some college students, and depending on like the Ebola crisis and the SARS, and it was really fascinating stuff.
Well,
so it was published in the Lancet, so check it out.
Oh, that's legit. Okay, that is really good. All right, well, that is cool. I'm gonna look at that one more thoroughly, I think. Not that your minute review didn't do what it needed.
My minute and 20-second review.
I just wanted more.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Cindy, for joining us for our Psych and Stuff short. And it is short, but it is always a pleasure to see you, no matter how short it might be.
Likewise. Thank you for having me.